Okay, so people can watch us as we go through this. I'll take this with me, but I don't think it works that far away. Okay, we have tonight just a short amount of time, enough amount of time, about an hour. And predominantly what I wanted to try to chat about was on the agenda items to get an idea of what we're going to present in these little meetings. And I got a rough draft in front of you all, and you can hand out. I sent it electronically, Mike. You might have a PDF file.
Sorry.
Okay. And then the other thing we wanted to do is to, I don't know if Jody's going to join us, if she's there. Okay, Jody may or may not join us, but we're looking for the financial run-up numbers. I do have some numbers mentioned in this presentation, which is the last email I received from her. I don't have the pretty graphs, but I have the data, which I think is outstanding.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
The other thing we're talking about is communication messaging along the way. And then there are some new business items that came in, miscellaneous random we probably should cover. With that being said, if we'd all take a look at the packet. I know we said we wanted 4 or 5 slides.
Have you already opened the meeting?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we're opening the meeting.
Speaks at 5.
Before I go any further, has everybody read the minutes?
Yes.
And my correction, for Dr. Fitzpatrick, I was calling him Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald's fine. That's bad.
Karen straightened me out.
But do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good, thank you. Now that we're into the meeting, we got the miscellaneous stuff out. We'll touch upon the impact, financial impact, as we go through the slides here. I think I've got the numbers, and I think that's what they'll be. And Jody hopefully gives an update. We talked to make it 5 or 6 slides through this, the 4 or 5 slides, I guess, is what we're talking about through the foundation. There's more than that. Some of these are just pictures you walk through. You don't spend a lot of time dwelling. The first slide is history slide. The rest of these are just, here's what the building looks like. History slide, I think, might be important. Hi, Amy. And these are coming from the various notes we've had, various facts we've had. And any comments to this would be great. I just pulled some bullet items.
Just on the history and facts page, the spelling at the bottom.
Thank you.
Right, there are a few.
Okay.
I already texted him on that. I wasn't able to edit your document.
It's a PDF, sorry. The big one is a big one. I couldn't do it. Okay, thank you for catching it.
And some different wording in it, I think.
Okay. I accept all those except corrections. I appreciate all. But I think it's just a recap. And Dave and I we'll go through this. We'll talk about it's too small, the dangerous parking, single event driven, no private facilities, no rooms for community activities. I should say no concurrent.
I would add no to the private room as well. I would add no to private room.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did too. I put no private space. I called it a space. I put no private space for medical, and I wasn't sure what you meant about personal activities. I kind of have those in.
I guess what I'm thinking about, if I'm talking about my insurance,
Mhm.
or if I'm talking about I need financial aid or I need fuel assistance.
You'll be in Jen's room.
Yes and no. When Chet's doing his.
He's on the, he's in the.
Or if I've got VA veteran defer, there's not enough room.
A lack of personal space.
I'd say personal privacy.
Privacy,
Yeah.
personal privacy.
Activities. I mean.
Yeah, I understand.
And also, it isn't that we don't have room for community, and you meant activities here, I knew
Right.
that. But it's almost like it's very limited. It's limited room for community activities / use. Because we do have 10 to 20 groups who use the
So what
facility.
happens now is like when I've got the room set up for the next morning, all the groups have to go upstairs, as you well know. I mean, nobody's balked about it, but, you know, we walk through the main room and it's just, but is what it is.
I'm just appreciative of the place to settle in, so typically give us
We're gonna try to do better for you.
Yes.
There you go.
Absolutely. Phil, on the wait list and turning people away, it might be good to have some anecdotal numbers. So do you have an idea of how many events you have that actually have a wait list? Every event that you run.
No, it isn't every event. That's
So
fine.
50%, just, or even turning people away, if you get a sense for what are your,
A bigger
the
event.
minstrels, right?
Yeah.
Holiday lunch or something, you turned away
We do, we do.
50% of the people that
The
want.
building capacity is 50 for that first floor, and there's no way, I mean, between our volunteers, there's no way that we can allow.
A good way to say it. Well, and I'll.
To accommodate everybody,
Accommodate. Each one comes with a function.
especially like the veterans. We want to have room for veterans. all of
Last
them.
year, we were tripping, everybody was tripping over
I
each
know.
other.
And
If you can quantify that.
I got it.
First point,
you would
when
have,
you get to that
Amy
point,
would have, Amy would know that.
as an example, at our Veterans Appreciation Lunch,
Ruchi Christmas
we had
lunch.
to turn away, you're turning away veterans. I don't need to quantify it, but I think to call something more specific out like that would be a good.
Good point. I think that is the case for all your major programs. The ones that are good. They wait, people fill up the list, and no more. The day-to-day activities seem to be,
That's gonna preempt questions. If you give me an example quantifiable, they're less likely to say, well, how often does that happen? Because you're hitting them with a number and you're gonna say,
So weekly, we have a wait list for exercise programs.
Yeah,
There
you go.
We can't have any more than 12 people because of the amount of
They
space on
need
that first
space,
floor
yeah.
to move and.
so all your wellness initiatives are.
We just have space for most.
I'm thinking about the person that doesn't want to fund this. It's gonna ask the question that's gonna
what do we
put you on the spot, It's kind of, I'm off at the knees. Don't let them ask the question. They'll ask the question, but I'm saying is like.
Yep.
It's not just words, you're actually hitting them with some facts too.
Well, Amy would have all of that.
I think the biggest thing too, we have 1,700 seniors in this town. Now, granted, not all of them are.
Close to
banging on our
18.
door. Is that close? Is it close to? Are you okay? All right. Well, that's because some baby boomers had birthdays this year, I guess. But, it's just, what was I gonna say there? So it's a matter of, especially that one room. That one room is the room. It's crazy. If you
You've
could-
got 1,700 seniors, and how many Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts do we have in this town? That need places to convene?
Oh, they're there.
No,
Yeah.
quantify those numbers, because now you're expanding, and those people that are worried about the kids, you just impacted that argument. It's not just about the seniors, yes, demographics going that way, but you're looking at all potential users.
That's why that word right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. We keep hitting that. But everyone we talk to, we've been pushing that.
Peg hits it more than I do. She corrects me.
he's trying to collate.
I said that this guy, James was saying he was, what did he say, he was a nemesis or?
Yes.
I said, we already have one of them. James, my God.
No.
A cost and financing, I figure we hit them right up front.
Yes.
It's 13.2 million. We have come down for numbers around 4.17.
And that whole article in the paper the other day, that was,
I know it was a nail in our coffin.
more people have asked me. It said right there. They don't read anything else,
I know, headlines.
which a dozen people have asked.
Well, you can spin that too, that the way it was loaded before, it was gonna make us financially tight for future projects, and this, we're balancing it out to make sure there's room for the school, for the fire department. We're managing our debt level to make sure that everybody has a piece of pie, and we're phasing it. We're starting to do that. We've been starting to do that since the police station.
They read decided how much. They didn't read the whole story. It just.
Well, you've got ABMI coming. tomorrow.
ABMI is coming again.
So that would be a good point to raise tomorrow.
Teresa, with the newspaper, we should get her back.
For sure.
She's the one that wrote that article. I mean, it wasn't like she was trying to,
Another paper coming out before.
right? Comes out around the 11th.
You know this chart that he's got on here, which I like, because even though it's only taking 300, 500, 700. Is that something we could put on our billboard outside? I know you've got the senior of the year stuff. Are we allowed to do that?
I don't
Is
know.
that something that the Lions would let us do? On the big one?
It's full.
Okay, well, you were good enough to
I've
give
been
us.
pushing people away, trying to lead this up to the 24th. And I had to say no to some people, so.
Okay,
Any thought about like an informational video, 3-4 minutes or something, you post it on Facebook?
Yeah, Dan Fryer yesterday offered, he said just to.
I think that's a good idea.
Let's get a camera crew and some makeup on you and do it.
We have, ABI come over, so if I can take a snippet.
They share it with Dan.
But something maybe even like direct to the point, just someone speaking and give it hitting all the points, and then Karen can share it on Facebook, you know, like there's been questions and concerns and issues that have been raised with the new senior center. This is what I want to tell you we've been working on for the past 6 years. And then just lead into like the tidbits, and if there's anything that you have that you want to have more information, there's a committee that you can contact any one of us. We're more than happy to talk to you. And here's our websites to do it. Just something small. I think anything over 3 or 4 minutes, if they see a video, they don't want to watch it, but
Probably about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
put on the town site. You know how they have that banner thing that runs? Maybe Elena maybe could do that.
Well,
if it's just facts, you probably can.
It is fast.
Yeah, if it's just facts, you can do it on the town site, because you're not trying to influence a vote one way or another. You're just presenting the facts of what this committee's done. We're a town committee, so. So the rumors are out there. We're rushing this. I can't believe the amount of money that we're spending.
2 years,
Um,
2 years. Kevin Rudden started
You
it.
know. I mean, and again, ballots have already gone out, so I worry about those.
That's why we did the postcards. We sent out almost 1,000 postcards.
Town meeting, I'm not worried about, because Mike's gonna talk, Bill's gonna talk. I'll probably say something about historical, you know, like the police station. We use that example. We went 4 times for it. We could have built a $1.5 million building that was gonna be bigger than our $6.5 million building. And so if you think that, you know, it's gonna get cheaper, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a need in the community that has to be, we have to take care of the whole community. We can't just worry about a fire station or a school. We have to take care of the whole community, or we're gonna fall behind in every area, you know?
Yeah, public safety came up a lot on the Facebook.
I mean, if we can't afford a $13 million senior center, how are we gonna afford a $30 million fire station? People are gonna start getting their heads around what things cost these days,
Right.
you know?
And again, this is being planned for, to take care of the needs now and for the future with the thought of expansion.
And we're balancing the debt.
Years from now, 30 years from now.
We're balancing the debt.
Place to expand.
Exactly. And we're balancing the debt. So it's a 146 impact here, but we're trying to balance as close to zero as we can. Don't ever think your taxes are going to go down. Let's be realistic and
Right.
be honest with people. Your taxes are never, ever going to go down. This isn't what's making going up. Your valuations are making going up,
That's right.
inflation's making it go up, and the 2.5 is making it go up. That's what makes your taxes go up.
It really sounds like you and I should do that. Sit it tomorrow.
And you are.
So,
But I mean,
I'll have to shake for tomorrow.
They got word out there too that you're gonna free up the senior center for plant, for parks and for highway office for more office space. If you don't do it, they're gonna ask for space,
And they need
another
it.
building somewhere, which they need.
We brought that up too.
I mean, people don't think of that.
I think we have to hit the shelters. I mean, we deal with James what he's saying. It's not true. But we don't, disasters are happening around here. We've been lucky we haven't been hit with one like Webster.
Yeah.
Or Webster, there were people out of houses for months, you know, and we might need to use the center. The senior center is not going to support daily operations and an emergency around here. It's just not going to happen.
No.
We need to think about all the residents. That's for all the residents, not just seniors. I mean, we even have issues with the school, like, so I don't know if I should bring this up. We've talked about school shootings. You know, having points of safety where we can gather the kids if something would happen inside there. Right now, we have nowhere. We gotta figure out, like, what, send them through the woods to go behind the blessing, to try to hide if something happened. We can have a strategy, boom, where they can go to a safe spot, there. and then they can reconvene, and we can even have a point where people can pick people up. We can organize everything, where we send our crew there to actually have accountability. You know, it's multi-level. This building where it is right now and what it's gonna be used for is really an asset to the town in all areas, not just the senior center. But we gotta get that across to people.
And that land was purchased 20 years ago to use for future municipal needs.
We're finally doing it.
And it's not, and we gotta stress, it's not gonna get cheaper. Our building was approved for just from the time we got it approved to the point we were ready to build, we needed $1 million more.
Yeah.
And that was in a span of less than 12 months. So what do you think this building's gonna keep turning into?
And our estimate has projections for the 25-26 build time.
And we're building a building right now that is smaller than a building we could have built for 8 million or 9
That's correct.
years ago.
And now in 2019, that's right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I hear a video coming tomorrow night. We'll get the ABI guys, or we'll do a video recording on the cell phone.
Just do a script or something.
Yeah, we have to work on the script. Tomorrow. We can go back and forth maybe.
Is this gonna be ready for tonight to send?
It can be. Let's focus in on this page here and the one behind it. And the reason I did two of them,
Oh, okay.
the reason I did two, you want to talk about, I was thinking we should talk about the benefits of the community and the senior center before we get down to, before we can get with the cost of the front and go into community and fit in the senior. We should.
I think that you got to tell them the cost, but you should also tell them what the taxes are going to be, because I think they're just going to close down unless, this at least gives us all hope.
Yeah, the taxes here, what you're saying
Yeah,
is, if you're at 500,000, it's $150 a year.
yeah. And didn't Jody say the average was something like 660 or something like that, the average home?
650.
Yeah, okay, so, and breaking it down to a quarter is a good thing.
So even though it's
That's how-
$7,000, we're still in it.
And then, if you look at the older homes that have been in the neighborhood for a lot of years, 300,000 assessed values, there could be some out there.
Visually, I like this one better.
Yeah, my question is, from the information is the same on both. But you want to do the information up top, pictures at the bottom?
I like that one. I think my eye is going right to the taxpayer impact too on the bottom too.
Oh, flashes one?
Mhm.
I guess it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna take this piece of paper from this meeting and I'm gonna go send it off to a printer tonight after the FinCom meeting.
I'll pick it up tomorrow.
And you pick it up tomorrow.
Putting it into 800 newsletter bulletins.
Would you consider changing the order of bullets and community side?
Certainly.
Sure.
Push VNA and veterans up towards the top.
Sure.
I think that's very good. Below meeting place for people? Or way up the top? Move food pantry down?
I was thinking like after family outreach.
Mhm.
Okay, family outreach, V&A services. And then the veteran services, right? 1, 2. Good,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to say no to veteran support,
yeah. And actually, Mendon has a higher percentage of veterans marginally than Worcester County, than Worcester City. Because we have more veterans here per capita. That was from the grant thing we did.
I think what's telling is you just visually, well, look at the bullets, the boxes are the same, the number of bullets are the same. So when you think about senior versus community as a whole.
Bulleted?
No, I'm just saying in general, it's a good look.
Yeah.
Because it's,
Balanced.
yeah,
I was thinking we need one more on the community side.
3 dots don't work for you. Dot doesn't work.
Well, I got dots on both, on one less on the community side. I'm just talking about a keganator by the. I keep forgetting we're recording.
The 3 people who viewed it on YouTube, I'm not worried about it.
And you're right.
Chief, how do you feel about where it says town's emergency center? That should be the shelter and not center. This is the emergency center.
Yeah, I would say shelter.
Shelter.
Yeah. More people can relate to the shelter part of it.
And that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Any other comment? Thanks. And we do for the community. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay,
Like the lines balance.
well, basically what we are, we're information and referral. So what we don't offer ourselves, we refer out to agencies.
Information.
Are you just trying to get rid of the ... So you want to?
No, I was just looking, if I look at the senior side, there's one line more than there is on.
I would, you could almost split up two: meeting place for town organizations, period. And then meeting area for social clubs, Boy Scouts. Like still Girl Scouts, Boy Scout, Girl Scouts. So if you list those types of things, people
Yeah.
can relate to them, you know, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Lions. Scouts.
You could consolidate on the senior side, you get recreational programs and socialization activities. And some redundancy in the examples. Well, if there's a way you can kind of see what that's on.
The idea about the Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and Lions, because that's all real. People belong to those things, they can identify with them. So Chief, I like that, I'll probably put one in there. And then on this other side, we probably could still skinny down, social programs.
But if you just added one on the left and you consolidate in the right, you still, you're still up, so don't touch that.
Don't touch it. Okay, I'm gonna go with Chief. Meeting place, okay. Area that goes over here. These numbers, I think, are still good, so we're gonna run with them.
You're talking about
The
the
numbers are good.
impact?
Yeah, she just said she would work the slides, but the numbers are good.
Numbers are good. We'll make our 1,500 copies. If anybody sees anything else before the end of the meeting. Okay, Jody's slide, I think is gonna be, I think we want to talk about there's how we're really positioning this investment and really trying to manage the dollars in the budget. There's a message there, I think, that's unique and different. But everybody says, I don't have any money for my project. Why should yours go first? Well, it's not really first, it's all gonna go along the way. Because we're managing our debt back.
I like what the chief said, you know, you did say that we're managing it so that there was room for, you know,
Future, and
yeah,
I hate to say it, everybody wants to go first, but you have to organize, and the board has organized by what they felt was it, had this committee formed, so that was the next need after the police station. So there are gonna be future needs. The school hasn't come forward with anything yet, but they eventually will, and that will be addressed as a need, and I'm sure committees will be formed. But this was the lowest hanging fruit right now for what has to be taken care of, and you have to take care of what you have. Because if not, it's gonna cost you longer in the long run, you know, it's gonna cost you more in the long run. I mean, I don't think anybody argue that that's a subpar senior center, that's not up to standards that we should have for a town of this size and in this community, that, you know, people move here for a reason. For the services. Just because someone doesn't use it, they're gonna say, well, I don't want to pay. But you know what? Everybody doesn't use the police station, but we pay for that,
that's right.
you know,
You never know.
and I don't want everybody to use the police station. You know, we don't have a roof for you.
And like you said, if there was ever an emergency, you know, our facility now, we can handle what, Amy, 35 people again. So you're gonna take what, the first 35, you know, then you can see this happen.
But we're gonna have those arguments, you're gonna have them no matter what, you're not gonna change certain people's minds.
I know
you
that.
Like the argument that, well, I'm never gonna use the senior center. And we keep going back, okay, well, you probably never use the fire station either. Whether we have a new one or not,
That's right.
whether you have a new one or not, it's not gonna affect your services, you're still going there. Whether or not we have a new police station, it's not affecting your services, we're
You
still
don't
going.
use it till you need it. Fire station, police station.
Yeah, but those you never use, we don't. It's a better work environment for us, liability for us, it's to keep our equipment, keep our staff healthy, that's what they're building it
Might never
for.
have to use it.
But the residents never use it besides our lobbies. You know, and if you're using it, you don't really, those aren't the people who are probably voting.
You got somebody crazy.
Mike,
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Mike.
go ahead.
I think it's important that you address, really focus on, obviously these needs are all what helps support it, but I think it's important to really focus on the need for the senior center and what a senior center does. And yes, it provides services, but it also provides the ability for seniors to socialize. It's for their betterment. It's for their longevity. And it allows them to stay in their homes longer, and not be forced into other types of housing because they're having issues because of not getting socialization. It provides all of those things that a senior needs. And that also people need to understand that being a senior starts at 55. And so that I think it's really important to, well, all these other things are definitely added benefits. The true need for a senior center is to support people so that they can stay in their homes, especially when someone loses a spouse. It gets people to make sure that people have a meal every day. I mean, as anyone that's cared for an aging parent, those are all the things you worry about. And if they're, especially once they're living alone, who does all this? Who helps them with all of this? And then they end up having to go somewhere, where you're paying, $11, $12, $13,000 a month to live in assisted living or independent living. I mean, I'm paying that right now for my 95-year-old mother. She's paying $12,500 a month to live in assisted living.
You raise a good point, Mike.
That's a great point.
And I
So
think
those-
you
those are
really
meant
don't
monthly
lose sight
income.
of that. I mean, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, that's all great, but that's just, I mean, I think you got to realize this really is about the seniors.
I think it's about, we gotta get people to stop thinking about me and or about the we. It's about the community. You may
Mhm.
never use it, but you want your town to have this.
That's right.
The service.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I think we gotta get people to stop thinking about their personal checkbook on this thing and think about the benefit to the community as a whole.
It's a
Mendon's nice
community asset. It's an asset
Yeah.
to the community. If you
Right.
own a property
Right.
there, it's an asset.
Trying to improve it.
In that idea, you may never use it, but we all know people who are affected by mental health problems, in law enforcement now after COVID. We have clinicians now on staff, that we have a regional pact with, and if something happens, we call it a clinician. We deal with mental, issues. People suffer because of COVID now, and this is another avenue that it may not be you, but it may be someone that needs a facility.
Could
This,
could use this facility to gain that socialization.
Yeah.
Gain companionship, not be alone and isolated.
Yeah.
And it
Right.
is a big wellness factor. No
Yeah.
question about it.
I mean, the world we live in now, it's a bigger world with the internet, but it's actually a smaller world. People are more isolated now than ever before. As weird as it may seem. What's that?
When you get all philosophical.
It's the truth, right? Because we deal with it on a daily basis,
That's a messaging on that side. Okay. They're good points, Mike. Thank you. Sometimes
Yeah,
we get
and-
stuck.
And Phil, as you're doing that, go to the Mass Council on Aging's website, and there's a whole kind of narrative up there about the benefits of a senior center.
Can do that.
Mhm.
I will steal some of that. Incorporate it. And get it done today.
We also allow people to work off their taxes by working in our work program. And they help other departments in the town, and they have a savings on their taxes. That goes through you, doesn't it?
What else, what that also does, it gives people a sense of purpose.
Mhm.
It's nothing worse than feeling like you have no purpose. That's what's gonna put you down, is that mental attitude of, I don't have a purpose.
Right. What's that program called, formally?
It's the
Senior
senior veteran abatement program. Some people call it a work-off program,
Senior,
veteran abatement program.
You don't have to be a senior. We have people, don't we have people volunteer?
You don't be a veteran either, right?
You have to be. you have to be a senior.
Yes.
You have to
Senior,
be
yeah, but not a veteran.
Yeah.
Senior or a veteran.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay,
two.
you called it a senior veteran.
Yeah, that's what it's, yeah.
So senior slash, okay, I'm
veteran.
just
Yep,
thinking.
yep, sorry.
okay. And that's a good point, because there's some people they can work. on.
They can stay in their home, and that might make a difference for some people.
Well,
Provide-
there's a couple things that does. It's more cost effective, but it also benefits the community if an elderly person stays in their home. I mean, honestly, they're paying taxes and there's not children living there filling up a school. I mean, that's good or bad, but the point is that there's all of those things that this allows to have happen. Phil, I'm going to actually send you a link to this page.
Thank you.
I think you'll find there's plenty of information out there that talks about the benefits of the senior center, and then you can fill in all of those things, how that a senior center is a benefit to the entire community. And then then there's some supplementary benefits of, other groups in the community that can use it, et cetera, et cetera.
Keeping us back to our original message. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mike, after we get through the financials, you wanted to talk about the process and how we got here. And feel free to amplify on some of these things too for a few minutes.
Well, they can just look at all my gray hair and the fact that I have no hair left, and that's how we got here. No. Yeah, exactly. So let me go back to your,
If I go back, Jody, those points are excellent there. Jody wants them in
mhm,
to see. But you
Do you
want to
want-
talk
mhm,
about process and samples, how we got here.
Yep.
How we got financials.
mhm.
I didn't hand out some of the earlier documents that you gave us because I'm not sure what you want to present.
No,
But
I wouldn't hand that out. I'm going to use slides that I've presented to you folks in the past and insert them here. And so I'll do that, Phil, and get that to you so everyone can see it.
I saw some, but I didn't want to just select them for you.
Mm-mm,
Because you
I'll
had
do
some
that.
full analysis about square footage, phase 1, 2, 3, solution 3.0 and 3.1. Your cost assessment, I thought that one was very good because it showed we were looking at 17 million and change, then we went down to 15 million and change,
Mhm.
14 million came into 13.2. And that's, I think, due diligence of all of our efforts.
I
Yeah, look
agree. I think what we want to start with, though, is that, I've heard the comment that folks have said, why are we rushing into this? And I think we have to really talk about a feasibility study so you're not rushing into it. And this feasibility study started in 2018, and here we are 6 years later. And so we're not rushing into this at all. And then I'll go into, we started at 17 million and we've done all of this whole process.
I'm hoping to tee that up a bit in the earlier comments. And Amy just reminded me too, the first survey that went out was by Kevin back in
2014.
2014 is when they started.
So we're
being
10
surveyed.
years down the road, right?
10 years down the road.
Like that, 17 million, we'll grant that. Is that equivalent to what the $8 million project was originally? Is that what you went off of, the same square footage?
Yes.
Okay. So it's more than double. So now we're getting 13 million. Do we know what percent, is smaller this building is now?
I can figure all that out. I don't want to get too far in the weeds on that. I think I want to keep it at a higher level and educational and informative and not get too, the more you get into the weeds, sometimes, less is more. If you get too far in the weeds, you get people starting to dissect this there on the floor and it gets,
Right.
I don't want to use the language of what it turns into, but you know what it turns into.
I want that.
I don't really think I'm worried about annual town meeting, to be honest. I think it's a ballot.
Yeah, just make it short, sweet. to the point.
Mhm. Very informative and educational, not condescending, but uplifting and upbeat. We're not trying to, paint a rosy picture here. This is what we need, and this is why we need it. And this is the work we've done to get here.
And then the closing is, you're looking for support for the seniors. In addition, support the CPA articles that are be there that Anne's gonna present, the recreational activities.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem because the money is already there. In other words, we don't have our hand in their pocket.
Right. But I think that which should be mentioned though, because we talked about.
Should be mentioned,
They stayed, so they
say,
stayed.
why are we losing this money for that? There's other things in town that town needs.
The CPA,
Yeah.
that comes under the
Something will say.
CPA.
Question about it.
Yeah. People are gonna say, why are we spending it there? That's else.
I think the thing too is to point out it's using CPC funds, so when people see pickleball courts and 13.2 million, they say, why do I need those courts? Paying debt, but you're not really doing it, so to clarify the various sources of funding.
CPA funding coming into this project.
Yeah, so I mean, once again, due diligence, not only on the cost, but, you know,
Taking
grants.
advantage of CPA, for example, that money can be used for recreation.
ADA stuff, yeah.
So instead of just coming out of the general budget or the general bill with a create, we're reaching out and trying to take advantage of all the avenues that are in place.
People will say, why am we using CPA to fix up the old library? I'm gonna fix the upstairs of that. Why we spend? Heard that question already.
I don't know if it's a historical building. I don't know if you can use the money for it.
I don't know if you can or not.
Yeah.
CPA, I don't think you could.
I think,
It has to be a certain age, like this had to be, we just barely got this building in.
I think one of the challenges, and it's
But I mean,
because
people ask,
but we get it, people start asking the question at the right place. So athletic fields is a great idea. You're gonna hear people, why we need fields. I'm like, well, where are the people coming to the select board or parks to say, we have an idea about some field initiatives, right?
Well, that's,
So we gotta start bringing them into the process. We've got a capital plan now. The school, we're collaborating with the school. I mean, I think it's more, we can use this to educate people too. So if somebody has an idea for the upper, put an elevator in there so it's ADA accessible
oh,
and refurbish it.
Yeah.
What's that use? Not.
They got,
Let's have a conversation.
like Mike said, they gotta get on the list because we have,
that's
we
right.
had- you kind of have a list and everybody's gonna have their turn. If we go back maybe 15 years and we just get the dates, you know, you had first the school. We built a brand new school in this town, a beautiful school. Then we built a fire station, you know, because the fire department was in this building all by themselves. And then we built a library and then we needed a police station. It's next on the line for the senior center. I mean, and then who knows after that, it may be a highway department and then we may be back at the fire department again, but there's gotta be a rotation. It can't just be one department and let's focus on it. And, you know, let's pay off one before we build the next. You know, and the school's been great about it. They're paying off their school and then eventually they will ask for one, you know? So we have buildings that still aren't paid off. All those buildings I list aren't paid off yet.
So
So
the fire department's not paid off, right?
I can't see it is if it's been 10 years. We usually take 20-year notes.
Okay.
I'll double check it to make sure before I know. But
yeah,
I can't imagine we would have took less than a 20-year note.
no. And I think the important thing too, Mike said, is you really need a champion. I said that to one of my neighbors. Oh, we need better fields. I said, get a group of people, bring it to the town, set a committee. Request that you run the CPA meetings.
And it's not gonna happen overnight. The same thing, they would have to go through the same process. Feasibility studies, where are the best places to put it? What kind of fields do we need? What kind of interest do we have? What kind of participation do we have? Same thing with the highway department, the fire department, you know. What staffing do we predict over the next 10 to 50 years? You know, what building any building that we're gonna build beyond this building right now, we're 4 years out from, 5 years out from. So, and in that point, we're already 5 years into paying this note, you know? So this has nothing to do with all those other things. This stands alone.
I think we should try to weave in the master plan, because I'm pretty sure this need is cited through the master plan. So I mean, it'd be good to always bring it back to that, so that I'm not thinking it's some sort of wild idea, but no. There's actually a master plan. This is one of those things, and Amy followed the process, so she came into queue first.
That was on the fire station, when we talked about senior center and all of those are becoming 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road.
Okay.
The lifespan of the buildings.
Yeah, our building is old. It's in good condition.
No,
It's 33.
Well, I think
33 years.
that's another point, the building will be reused.
Oh, I know that, and that's good.
Okay,
What you need.
Repurposed.
A lot of work to be done here yet to get smooth. Dave, you'll be able to make tomorrow night's meeting? Absolutely. We'll have a chance to do this a couple times.
What's the name of the printer? He's in Medway, you said.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay.
Andrew Carney,
C-A-R.
I-N-I. I'm gonna, he's on 74 Main Street, Medway.
It's right in the plaza.
Yeah, same one as Papa Gino's, yeah, I know that.
You know where it is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'll stop and get lunch.
Yeah.
I'll see
Go to
Steve.
Medway Cafes.
Right.
For the job lot.
Okay. Other things to touch upon, and tomorrow's another dry run for all this, try to polish it. We do have a school committee. I'm going to visit with those folks. Thank you. Tomorrow night? No, Thursday night. No, next week, Monday. The agendas will be on Thursday.
And we've got one more at the library
We got one more at the library.
on the 30th.
Yeah. Where did just.
That's the Friends.
You had your open house today?
I mean,
You had your open house today down there?
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Feel free to come. Feel free to come.
And I think we probably should have a meeting next week before the event
Probably because it's just a few days before.
on Tuesday. I know we don't do weeklies, but I think we need one here,
30th.
30th. 6:30 if that works.
Wait a minute. We got the Friends meeting at 7. Well, I'll go to the Friends. Karen and I will go. Karen, you want to go to the Friends meeting? Mm-hmm. We'll go to the Friends meeting.
Friends meeting?
Next Tuesday is the 30th. Right?
Right.
Yeah, we have a 7 o'clock Friends meeting. Well,
Okay.
Karen and I will go.
Okey dokey, a couple other side requests for under new business. The farmer's market, the request came in to Dave.
Yeah. Any on the?
I don't know.
She said.
I don't know if anyone else is on. Nope.
What about people? Yeah, she on here.
I don't see her initials. She's supposed to come tomorrow night.
Okay, she said she was gonna come tonight too. So she'd like to do a farmer's market over there. I met with her Monday. She made a request through Greg, the TA, and Greg asked me to handle it, was out of town, so met with her and looked at it over there. It's not what I was confused at first. I thought she wanted to do something like the other end of North Ave, where they did like, they dug up and did fields and sold stuff, but it's not that. She's keeping that over there. They literally just want to do it for like events. So like on a Saturday or Sunday, have people come, set up stands. And she'd like to do it from spring to fall. So I told her, obviously, that request is with the board. So I made a request through Laura and Greg to get on the agenda for the next one so she could talk to you guys about it. But so it's basically, it won't affect, the way I looked at it, it won't affect anything we're doing right now. If that was done over that time period, we're just gonna be hiring an OPM and getting, everybody on board. We won't even hit the ground until the following year, then they have to pick something out. So I'm gonna come with her and just tell her, I don't think there's any problem with this board. Phil and I talked about it. I guess the board can vote on it, this board can vote on it if you want, but my recommendation to say the select board, there's no issues with us. I actually think it's a good thing to have that over there. We let other people use it. I mean, I think it's a good community thing, so.
She has a good heart. She has a good heart. She
Bring it
does.
to the board after ATM.
I think going.
Guess if you start using, if there's a semi-regular event in space where we're proposing to build a senior center.
Well, her goal would be to start it there so then she can incorporate with what we're doing, which would be a great thing.
Go further down.
Yeah, it'd be a great thing, like, so our extra areas where we're doing recreation, what a great place to have a farmer's market that the seniors could be part of, that the community can be part of. That's her idea to incorporate it all together. But right now, just to get the interest over there, which I thought was actually a pretty good idea. Imagine one more thing for the seniors, they go there for their event or whatever, and the farmer's market.
Community,
Yeah, it's great.
another community act.
Actually, we have the Galliford event on Sunday.
That's true, we do have Galliford.
Do you want me to tell it after the ATM or?
I think we're probably gonna meet the Wednesday before ATM. The first, I think.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if, as the wise people of town meetings, we need to vote on that. I think it makes a lot of sense.
We probably should give a recommendation to the board whether or not we have an issue with it, just because we're
Yeah.
looking at that site for building. I don't have an issue. I don't know if we take a vote on it, but
I have no issue
See a
with it.
problem with it.
Consider voted.
Yeah,
there you go. So recommend our support to Shandy for the farmer's market. Second,
We support.
second,
there you go. All in favor?
I,
Oh, wait, this is your meeting.
No,
Wait.
I think it over.
Sorry.
You got it.
I can keep it going. We're gonna do FinCom.
Okay, yeah, we do have to go through. Hold on. The other things that came in. I think that was it there.
Ellen said.
Oh, yes,
Ellen
Ellen
said
wanted a description of. That we could post somewhere.
I think we just give her the sheet that you just.
We give her the sheet that we do.
I think that's good enough.
We'll give her that tomorrow, but also it has the URL.
Yeah.
And there's additional information on the site that Elena put together.
Yeah, she said she was getting questions and she'd like to be able to produce something, to be able to talk about something. I think we just give that, and then if anybody wants to talk about it, they can hit the scan and she can recommend them to talk to us. You know, I'd rather not have people talk for us, probably come to our committee, but just.
sorry about the QR code, is that what you're talking
Yeah, I'm
about?
talking about this sheet. Ellen was looking for information. The voter had a question.
Okay,
So this is a good summary sheet. This is what we're gonna publish.
Yeah, that's very good.
Especially with the ballots being out now, they're probably asking questions.
So, and then the URL, there's a QR code on here, so we can get more information.
Yeah, I think that should be good.
Okay,
yeah.
So I'll reach out to Ellen tomorrow.
yeah, we'll have this tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
Afternoon. Okay, so that was next. The final topic I had on my list is that on May 19th, from 2 to 4 is a Sunday. I want to send you out an invite for an open house at my house. Win or lose, we're gonna get together. And that's a committee member and spouse, or if you don't want to bring a spouse, or you want to bring somebody, I don't care.
Just 19th.
May 19th, I'll send out an invite, I'll ask you to RSP, let me know you're coming on. And that number.
Is everybody online invited?
Right. I need a detail for that.
19th. That's the day I started the academy 28 years ago.
See that?
Really?
Yeah, that literally was a Monday.
So no matter what happens, May 19th, we'll get together.
Okay.
And one last question, I keep getting confused. If we don't pass the town meeting, but we pass the ballot, do we go back to town meeting?
You can have a special.
That was good. Okay,
School did that 3 or 4
Yeah, you
times.
can have a special.
No is never no in this town.
That's right.
Is it important that people stay to the end? I know somebody said somebody at the end of the thing could bring it back up again. I'm just thinking of the seniors.
They have a time limit. I don't know what it is.
Whichever way the vote goes.
Yeah.
So let's say it failed.
Okay.
By the end of the meeting, only someone that voted for it to fail can bring it back
That's right.
for a second.
Why would they do that? They voted for it to
They
fail.
might have second thoughts. That's how it was.
Yeah, it always was, yeah.
Years ago, Rolly Martin, when he was the moderator, explained that.
The opposing team has to bring it back.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Is the chief gonna stand behind somebody?
No, you go on the honesty system, but I guess something came up with that too, which brings to the board. Someone on the board, select board said that, well, we're gonna look and see how you voted to make sure that you weren't whatever, you know, that you were the opposite vote. But to me, I wonder if there's a policy over there. I mean,
Ooh.
that data shouldn't be something that people should be looking at. If
One
That's
person who really wants.
in
it.
general, but in general, that data is something I think.
Yeah, that's.
It should be like we have,
Then what you'll-
it gets destroyed once you number it.
I got still clickers.
You know, I don't think that data, it's not a public record, that data, your vote isn't a public record. The number of votes.
So you're gonna look at the data after the meeting?
So, no, so if you oppose it, they're gonna go back and look at your clicker number to make sure that
I
you,
think it'd be okay within the course of the meeting.
Okay.
But I don't think, holding on to that data for posterity.
yeah, I'm hoping that data goes away after.
Unless I get a call from Steve.
Catch your name.
All votes are public.
Hmm.
Right.
So if before the invention of the clickers, if we were voting here, you could look and I could see what you were voting.
That's right.
Yeah, you can see it, but then we have data recorded.
They make a
Something
motion
different.
for the secret ballot.
Right.
Somebody make a
And
motion.
then it's written down on a piece of paper, and
Yeah.
it's,
Yes or no.
that nobody knows how you vote.
Well, essentially, they're all secret ballots now.
Yeah, they are now.
Okay.
What is,
Yeah,
We
that's
think-
essentially what happens now.
we think,
I'd be curious to know what public records law says about it. It's somewhat new.
Anything else out there? I urge you all to go, I've been talking to my neighbors, handing out signs. We can do that as individuals.
Anybody
Yeah.
need a sign here that doesn't have one, that wants one? Here on George Street, is that a good place to have a sign?
Yeah, put a sign up. You have,
Still got him here?
I got it in my trunk.
He's got one in his truck.
take one. and
No, yours is up. Yours is up. Mine's up.
Fast today, we'll put it back up.
Yours is up.
Do we have any on with Blackstone Street?
She's on Blackstone Street.
We have a few streets if you want, you ever heard from Pleasant, Level, Blackstone, I have some. And 16 on.
There's one on the island.
I put the lights. Lights noise.
We're allowed to do that on the islands? I'm not asking permission.
I only asked you to put that thing up until after, was it after the fourth?
It'll stay up until,
That was about the open house though, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, so all right.
yeah, so. Thursday morning it has to come down.
Yeah, that's okay.
Something has to go on for 2 days.
All right, okay.
I think Mike has left us. That's okay.
Yeah, that's right. I think John was still on for a while. That's probably one too.
Mike brought up some good points. Let's not forget some of the real reasons we do this stuff.
Either you support or you don't. It comes down to at that point, either you support or you don't.
Exactly.
It's a community need and
We're gonna do our best to get it there and see what happens.
Well, I can honestly say, from being sitting here, my observation of everybody here that's been working, so we have nothing to be ashamed of. I think everybody did an outstanding job. I saw a TikTok video of you talking to people. I thought it was great.
Something was on Facebook, somebody.
It was on YouTube.
YouTube, yes.
You do. That's,
I think Annie posted it on your page.
Yeah,
too.
she did.
Yeah.
Who knows where we show up?
Well, you know, it's good to have people see it now. Speak for
It's
yourself.
out there.
so,
And it'd be nice if people understand too, that this is our debt schedule. So like, if you don't pass it, we're not getting more police officers, more highway work. It's not, it's completely different than operation. I know we shouldn't get in the weeds, but voting this down doesn't mean you're getting more town services. It just means you're saving $140 and we don't have a crucial building for our town for support for our seniors in our community.
Well, I'm hitting all my neighbors up, trying to drag them, get them there. Trying to get the younger crowd. You all do the same.
They meeting at 7, is that what you said?
I guess with that, I think the meeting, there's no other items.
Nope.
Want to call the meeting, during the meeting?
The boss.
motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
There you go.
Aye.
Aye. Well done.
Mosey over next door.
We're gonna go do that. I can't imagine that from back. If you think about this cost, it's like, it's more expensive to go to, I don't know,
I know.
I'd say Alicante, but it obviously is more expensive to go there in one night versus the whole year. But I mean, you go to McDonald's, you spend $50 on 3